is the pronunciation of a word or syllable with more force than a stuttering syllable or word. A stressed word or syllable is produced by using more air from the lung. There are four main levels of stress: primary stress, secondary stress, half stress, and unstressed. For the sake of convenience, half stress can be merged with unstressed, and both of them are usually referred to as unstressed. Primary stress has its syllable pronunciation with the greatest prominence. Secondary stress is a little bit weaker than the main stress in the same sound switch. Half stress has no stress, but the vowel is pronounced with 4 dictionary variants. In English, a stressed or unstressed syllable can be distinguished by differences in length, pitch, loudness, or vowel quality, as shown in the table below.
We're talking about the 3 levels of stress: primary, secondary, and completely unstressed syllables. We'll start with primary stress. Primary stress is the loudest and longest syllable in a word with a very noticeable change in pitch on the vowel. In one-syllable words, that one syllable has the primary stress. Blue or 10. It's the only syllable in the word, so of course it receives the primary stress. That makes sense. The vowel is louder and longer, and there's an obvious change in pitch. Listen for that change in pitch. Blue. 10. 10. Even when I speed it up, that change in pitch is obvious. The only exceptions to this rule of a one-syllable word receiving the primary stress are a handful of function words like the, which are usually unstressed or reduced. We rush through them. We'll talk more about those commonly reduced or rushed words in another lesson. The second level of stress is secondary stress. These are the syllables which are stressed, but not as much as the primary stress. So they are loud and long with a change in pitch, but not as loud or as long as the syllables that get the primary stress. And the change in pitch on the vowel is not quite as noticeable. An example of secondary stress would be the first syllable in this word, disappear. We do spend some time on this syllable, and we do make the vowel louder and longer, but not quite as much as we do on this last syllable, the third syllable, peer. If both of these syllables received primary stress, which can happen, it happens in certain words, but here it doesn't. If both of these syllables received primary stress, it would sound like this: disappear, disappear, disappear. But because we don't spend quite as much time on the disappear, we categorize that as secondary stress. And if you notice this middle syllable, we just rush through as quickly as we can. Disappear. We get right to that third syllable that receives the primary stress. The third level of stress is the unstressed syllable. These are the syllables that have no stress at all, so we rush through them and shorten the vowel until it's almost completely gone. I often tell my students to just cut the vowel, pretend like it's not there at all, even though it is there, but that the idea of cutting the vowel seems to work. When people are used to giving equal stress to every syllable, which is the timing pattern of a lot of other languages, getting people to learn to cut that vowel in the unstressed syllable can really help with the rhythm overall. So the change in pitch on this vowel is there, but it's barely noticeable. Let's take a look at some examples. The first syllable of the word prepare is the unstressed syllable. We cut the vowel, we rush through it as quickly as we can, even though the letter E is in the word as far as spelling. Because this syllable is completely unstressed, we cut the vowel and use what's called the unstressed vowel, or the schwa, which again, we'll learn more about that in another lesson. For now, just imitate pr and get through it as quickly as you can so that you can get to the second syllable that gets all the stress and all the vowel and all the change in pitch. Prepare. Prepare. Unstressed syllables are often very confusing as far as spelling. It doesn't matter what vowel letter you see. Most of the time, that letter will be representing the unstressed vowel or the schwa or the sound. Same thing happens with the word yoga. The second syllable is unstressed. We replace the letter A with the unstressed vowel, the sound, and we get away from that syllable as quickly as we can. Yoga. Yoga. In my accent reboot program, we learn all about unstressed syllables and where to use them and which letters represent them.
English word stress is very difficult to predict since there are so many exceptions. It is best to treat stress listening as property of the individual word to be learned when the word itself is learned. Nevertheless, stress listening of English words follow a general principle that is either primary stress in a word tend to fall on the final syllable, the second last syllable, or the third last syllable of the word. The following are some common rules that have to indicate stress pattern in English words. It is, however, note that there are quite a few exceptions to these rules. A single word form, either simple or derivative form, may have the primary stress on the interstitial syllable, the middle syllable, or the final syllable, depending on which word class it is and which component is comprised with. Is more two-syllable noun and adjectives, the primary stress falls on the first syllable. The penultimate
accept, enjoy, improve, respond, believe, avoid.
verbs with two syllables are often stressed on the second syllable.
Water, apple, table, garden, little, happy, early, perfect.
Rule 3 words ending have the penultimate stress.
Economic,
academic, decision,
discussion, pollution, suggestion.
Rule 4 words ending takes the anti-penultimate stress.
democracy,
Technology,
practicality, photography,
geology,
Many suffixes of Latin, Greek, and French take the primary stress on themselves.
entertain,
volunteer,
Blaguette,
picturesque,
payee,
Ballon,
Typically, an English compound word has two parts, two different words combined together, and the identification of the primary stress can be based on the its morphological structure. Rule 6 means stress on the first part. For compound nouns, the first part is heavily stressed if their structure are as follows.
armchair,
filmmaking, sitting room,
pickpocket,
For compound adjectives, these combinations have the primary stress on the first component.
airtight,
time-consuming, pear-shaped,
Rule 7 means stress on the second part. For compound nouns, the second part is primarily stressed in this pattern.
deep state,
global warming,
lost property,
For compound adjective, primary stress falls on the second part in the following structure.
fat-free,
long-term,
fully grown.
In English, there are certain words that can be pronounced in two ways, known as weak form and strong form. As for words that are not stressed, they are usually weakened when spoken. The English term is called weak form, its opposite is strong form. In English, some words have no semantic but only grammatical value, called function words, including conjunction, preposition, auxiliary verbs. Weak form is usually pronounced with a schwa sound and is very weak, so sometimes quite difficult for learners of English to hear properly. Weak strong form. The word is fully pronounced because the word stress. When a word stands alone as if still learning a single word, it will be pronounced in a strong form, or when you want to emphasize that word. It depends on the speaker's purpose. For example, I have the following sentence. With strong form we read black and white, but with form, when you read fast, we will have the sentence black and white. And another sample. With strong form it would be read as I would like some fish and chips. And with a weak form, it will be read as I would like some fish and chips. It will be the difference here. To be honest, I also find it very difficult to pronounce. And to understand more about weak form and strong form, let's watch the following video about example of how function words may be pronounced in the weak form and strong form.
Determiners, examples of determiners and quantifiers. A. I've got a new dress. N. That's an apple. Any. Do you have any money? Some. They bought some bread this morning. The. Have you seen the front door keys? Examples of pronouns. He. She thinks he's handsome. Her. Tom told her that the meeting had been cancelled. Him. I've bought you some chocolate. His. That's his last chance. Me. John called me last night. Our. She dropped her coffee on our rug. She. I think she's gone to the library. Them. We dropped them off at the airport. Us. Lucy gave us one of her kittens. We. I wonder when we should leave. Who. Do you know who that girl is? You. Yeah. Do you like chocolate? Your. Is that your coat? Anne. Not going home, am I? That's cool just now. B. It's going to be late. Been. Have you been here long? Can you come early? Could. Think you could pass the exam? Do you need any help? Does. Doesn't live in London, does he? Had. I had a car when I was at university. Auxiliary verbs are all modal verbs. Has. He's been here for years. Have. I've had lunch already. Must. You really must take your umbrella. Shall. Shall we go out for dinner? Should. You really should get a haircut. Was. It was a beautiful day. Where? They were late again. Will. He'll arrive later. Would. If I were you, I'd study a bit more. Conjunctions. And. We need some salt and pepper. But. The food is good, but the service is terrible. As. It was as big as an elephant. Prepositions. At. It. She works at night. For. It's a present for my dad. From. That book's from Julia. Of. That's part of the problem. To. Are you going to the party tonight?
Sentence Strat is music of spoken English. I was Strat. Sentence Strat can help you to understand spoken English, even repeat spoken English. Sentence Strat is a word whether English is written or picked. You remember that word street is accent on unstable within a word. Sentence Strat is an accent on certain word within a sentence.
Most sentences have two basic types of words. Content words. Content words are the key words of a sentence. They are the important words that carry the meaning or sense, the real content. Structure. Structure words are not very important words. They are small, simple words that make the sentence correct grammatically. They give the sentence is correct from its structure. If you remove the structure word from a sentence, you will probably still understand the sentence. If you remove the content word from a sentence, you will not understand the sentence. The sentence has no sense or meaning. Why is it important for pronunciation? It is important because it adds music to language. It is the rhythm of the English language. It changes the speed at which we speak and listen to the language. The time between each stressed word is the same.
And we should say that these are the rules and guidelines, but in English, any word can be stressed if you have a reason to do that. So stay tuned for another video to explain that more. I'm going to give you a sentence now, a big, long sentence, and let's look at it and find content and function words. Here it is. Ready? You should call the doctor because my leg is broken. You should call the doctor because my leg is broken. Let's underline all the content words. And let's make all those function words a little bit smaller. And now look at this sentence. Call doctor, leg broken.
It's so short.
It's so short, but you can understand exactly what I want to say from those 4 words only, from those content words. The sentence does not sound beautiful. You should not write that in an essay.
Yeah, it's not grammatically correct.
But the meaning is in the content words. Call doctor, leg broken.
You can take out all the function words and the meaning still remains.
Yeah. Do you have a sentence?
I do. Next one. Send me some money because I've lost my wallet.
Oh,
I know, poor me, right? You can hear it again and see what happens.
Let's see. So let me give you an example of a sentence. She likes apples. She will be unstressed. It's a pronoun. Likes is a main verb. It will be stressed. Apples is a noun. It will be stressed, but not apples.
I don't want to eat one of those.
The first syllable in apples is strong and the second one is weak. So the sentence will look like this. She likes apples.
Yeah.
She likes apples.
Okay, so we're going to look at some more sentences that are all 4 syllables, maybe 4 words or maybe less, and you're going to help us decide which of these 4 categories they belong in. So our 4 categories are weak, strong, strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak, strong.
And the one we already looked at, she likes apples, is weak, strong, strong, weak. She likes apples. Got it?
So we'll do a couple more examples together. How about the sentence, everyone's here? Everyone's here. What do you think? Larissa, what do you think?
I think it's strong, weak, weak, strong.
You got it.
Everyone's here. Next one, the keys are lost. The keys are lost.
I think this one is weak, strong, strong.
Yep.
Right? The is an article. This is a weak word. Keys are a noun. It's big or strong. Are, like we said, is to be, usually weak. And then lost is an adjective. So weak, strong, weak, strong. Okay, you're going to do the same thing. We're going to say a sentence and you decide which of those categories it